Watch the Mega Millions drawing live tonight here on TV23. Covering the High Plains with news, weather, and information. From TV23 Studios in Sublette, this is High Plains Today.
Hi, everybody. You know what? It is a windy Tuesday, March 29th, 2016. Welcome to High Plains Today. On the show today, I'm going to be joined by Julie Pinkerton. She is the Executive Director of Hospice of the Prairie and Prairie Home Health in Dodge City. Now, let's take a look at some happenings. Well, the biggest wildfire in Kansas history is largely contained, although firefighting efforts could be hindered by more gusty winds. Imagine that. The Kansas Forest Service says crews yesterday patrolled areas where the wildfire has burned at least 620 square miles in Oklahoma and Kansas since last week. Now, the service says the fire was 90% contained and about 81% contained in Barber County, where most of the damage occurred. The National Weather Service says winds up to 30 miles per hour with 40 mile per hour gusts are expected to hit the sparsely populated fire zone again today. And with that, commissioners in Texas County, Oklahoma decided yesterday morning to go ahead and put into effect a 30-day burn ban effective immediately for the county. Now, the Oklahoma Forestry Service was sent notification once it was signed and the meeting was completed. Now, the Forestry Service website also shows burn bans in effect for Cimarron and Harper counties in Oklahoma as well. And the Seward County Community College Board of Trustees have set housing and tuition rates for the next fiscal year. The price of student housing with cafeteria meals will increase 3%, and that's a total of $60 per semester. Now, the price is based on increases in per unit food costs and operating expenses. Total cost for a shared room in the Student Living Center mansion dorms with the 19 meal per week plan will be $2,400 per semester and $2,300 for Hale Court housing. Now, students who wish to reserve single rooms may pay $500 more per semester. Now, that's contingent on room availability. Tuition, too, will see a slight price increase. Administration proposed a $4 increase per credit hour and a $1 per hour fee increase. Well, Democrats in the Kansas House and Senate have filed a formal protest against a bill passed last week in the Republican-dominated legislature in response to a state Supreme Court ruling that the state's school funding is inequitable. The Kansas Supreme Court ruled in February that a 2015 school finance law denied poor school districts the fair share to state funding. The court threatened to shut down public schools if the funding problems aren't fixed by June 30th. Now, the bill redistributes $83 million a year between the districts without an overall increase in state spending. Governor Brownback is expected to sign the bill by early next month. Now, if he does, the bill will go to the Supreme Court for review. And lawmakers have left Topeka for the next month, but when they return, they will potentially face a more somber fiscal situation. Legislature concluded its regular session last Thursday and won't be back until April 27th. Between now and then, state government will find out how much revenue was collected in March, and a new review forecast for the next fiscal year will be produced, which could cause fiscal uncertainty if downgraded. If it follows recent trends, the revenue forecast produced in mid-April will downgrade the amount the state expects to take in. Lawmakers are hoping to avoid a repeat of last year when a downgraded forecast forced legislatures to find $400 million, which the budget was short. Man, good luck with that, guys. And finally, the Federal Aviation Administration is preparing to begin its airworthiness certification inspection of a World War II bomber. Volunteers in Wichita have been putting the finishing touches on the B-29 Superfortress known as DOC. The nonprofit group working to restore the plane says on its website that the next step is for the FAA to perform a physical inspection. The aircraft then will be inspected during engine runs. Now, the group will need an FAA airworthiness certificate before they can attempt a first flight of the B-29. I've seen that airplane. It's really kind of cool up close. And that's a look at stuff that's happening. Yep, it's going to be a windy forecast. Stick around. Be back with the weather after this.
You're watching High Plains Today on TV23 with host Chris Jewell. TV23's internet service and 4G live streaming provided by United Wireless. Coverage you deserve. Service you expect. United Wireless.
You want to feel connected, at one with your world. Informed, included, and inspired. So no matter where you are, when important things happen, we're here at all hours, in the moment, on every screen in your life. Your local TV and radio broadcasters. We investigate and inform, give back to the community, build the local economy, even save lives. America's #1 source for news, weather, and information. And unlike any other news source, we're here. 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 And here. We are broadcasters, always here for you, wherever here may be. Text TV to 52886. Tell Washington local stations matter.
Cook foods to the right temperature using a food thermometer. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
Something I feel when I'm right here. Something that tells me that I'm home. This is the place. Everybody here knows it. This is the place. Oh, it's home to me and you. Yeah, this is the place.
Now, the local weather forecast for the High Plains.
And welcome back. Does it help if I do this? Because that's what the tower cam is doing as we look off to the northeast. On the TV23 tower cam, you can see we got a lot of clouds out there today. I don't know if we're going to get any sunshine or not. Hey, let's take a look at the readings here at the station. 63 degrees outside. Relative humidity is pretty high than what it's been, 60%. And look at that. The winds are out of the south-southeast today at 23 miles an hour. Barometric pressure is falling. Now, as we look at the current temps around the region, everybody pretty much in the 50s and 60s until you get out here close to the mountains. Why they're warmer than anybody else, I don't know, but Lamar already at 72. Everybody through here pretty much in the 60s and 50s. Looking at our current dew points, though, everybody's pretty high, so that'll help those wildfires down there. A little bit of humidity coming in. Now, what's not going to help them is this. Looking at the current wind speeds out there, only 14 over in Medicine Lodge, over around the fire area, 24 in Pratt. Look at that, 32 in Hayes already. Everybody else up in the 20s except for Elkhart at 18. But yeah, it's going to be breezy and it's going to continue to be breezy. Looking at our highs and lows as recorded at the Garden City Regional Airport, we did get to 65 yesterday. Yesterday's low was 27. Oh yeah, 75, not 65. It's Tuesday, it's not Monday. The record high was 90 back in 63. The record low, 3 back in 1970. No new precipitation in the bucket. Looking at our forecast for today, now there is a 10% chance of some showers late this afternoon, but that's only 10%. High of 73 today. Winds are going to be out of the south at 26, gusting to up over 35. Tomorrow, or tonight, mostly cloudy. Now this is the thing. The winds aren't going to lay down. It's going to be 46 for the low. Winds are still going to be out of the south-southeast, gusting up to 35 miles an hour yet. And then tomorrow, high of 67. Clouds will blow out of here. Imagine that with all the wind. Winds will switch around to the west out of 15, picking up to 25 later in the day. Tomorrow night, 31 degrees for the low, partly cloudy. Yep, still windy, north-northwest. So we've gone from the southwest all the way around to the northwest. 24 miles an hour. As we look at our 7-day, you can see we're going to cool down as we close in on the weekend. Friday going to be the coolest day of the week at 58 for a high, but then we're going to climb back up into the 70s going into next week. And let's take a look at our storm spotter training. Tonight they'll be at the courthouse in Nest City. Then tomorrow at the 4-H building in Kinsley. On Thursday at the Activity Center in Liberal. And then on Monday, they'll be in the Annex and Medical Building at the in Barber County, the 4-H building in Johnson, and then at next Wednesday at 6:30 at the high school in Syracuse. Then they're going to take a week off, and they won't start back up until the following Tuesday, the 12th. They'll be at the high school in Coldwater. There's a look at our weather. We'll be back with the markets after this.
Score big this month with huge savings on new phones from United Wireless. Save $60 or more on our most popular smartphones with pricing starting at $0 down. Take advantage of our simple, unlimited everything smartphone plans that include talk, text, and data starting at only $50 per month. We're going mad in March with deep discounts, so you don't want to miss this sale. Make it your goal to stop in at one of our stores or our 13 convenient agent locations and switch to United Wireless today. Some restrictions apply. See store for details.
Chill raw and prepared foods promptly. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
When some people struggle with their mortgage payments, they become frozen, petrified. Not knowing what to do, they do nothing. But the people who do something, the people who take action, are far more likely to get the most positive outcome. Making home affordable is a free government program. Call now to talk one-on-one with a housing expert about the options that are right for you. Real help, real answers, right now.
Hi, Chris Jewell, host of High Plains Today, a 30-minute news and information program that airs weekdays at noon right here on TV23. We talk about news, we talk about sports, we talk about weather, we're even going to talk entertainment. We'll have live guests right here on set with me. So, every day at noon, tune in, High Plains Today. We'll see you then.
Weekdays here on TV23.
Same time next week?
Well, of course.
Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
Welcome back on this breezy, we're going to call it breezy Tuesday because the wind's not over 50 miles an hour. I'm now joined by Julie Pinkerton. She is the executive director of Hospice of the Prairie and Prairie Home Health based in Dodge City, America, which is one of the windiest places in the United States we were discussing.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me today.
Thank you for coming over today. You kind of had a tailwind coming this. You won't go back though.
That's right.
I'm sorry. All right. Tell me a little bit about Hospice of the Prairie and Prairie Home Health. I mean, give me an overview. What do you guys do?
You bet.
I mean, I kind of know what hospice is, but then you throw in this home health stuff. I mean, you guys do a lot of stuff.
You know, Hospice of the Prairie and Prairie Home Health has been serving Southwest Kansas now for well over 30 years.
Oh, wow.
And we started as primarily a hospice. And then as the needs of the community changed and there were no longer home health agencies, we started doing home health as well in an effort to just help folks be able to stay home when they're having medical issues and bring their health care to them. Okay.
So when you bring health care to somebody in the home, I mean, does it matter what degree of severity or I don't know how to word it, but that you will take care of?
It does matter. And one of the things our organization does offer is both hospice and home health. They're very separate programs with different admission requirements, you might say. And Medicare does regulate both programs, so we follow those regulations closely. And that is what dictates what qualifies someone to come into either program.
Okay, so you guys are mainly a Medicare provider?
Primarily.
Did I get that right?
Primarily Medicare, though we
Okay.
also accept Medicaid, commercial insurance, and hospice provides care to folks with no insurance. So one of the best things we find is that when families or folks out in the community are trying to figure out how to stay at home if they are sick, the best thing they can do is just give us a phone call and talk to us. We may not have all the answers, but we can definitely guide them to what programs might fit for them or what other resources in their community might help them.
Okay, so, all right, let's concentrate on the home health.
Okay.
For right now, because, okay, so do you have different levels of care, I'm guessing, as to, I mean, once somebody calls and you decide, okay, you guys, this program would be good for you.
Right.
Then I'm sure you go out and have a home visit.
Correct.
And where do you go from there?
The first step really is even before we get into the home setting, we talk with whoever's calling us. It might be the doctor, it might be the hospital, it might be the patient or their family. It could be their pastor or their neighbor. So really it's just whoever has a concern, they can call and talk with us.
Okay, yeah, I never thought about that because it might not be the person who's needing the care that's calling.
Correct, and probably most of the time it's not. But when they do call, we do visit with them about what home health might bring to them so that they would have some idea of what to expect and make sure that it's in line with what they're hoping for. We talk with them about the Medicare rules. And Medicare really just requires that the patient have what Medicare calls a skilled need. And that basically means the patient would need to require the skills of a registered nurse or a physical therapist in order to have home health care. And they also have to be homebound. And again, these are Medicare rules, and we can simplify them as we visit with patients and families so it's not so overwhelming.
Oh, thank goodness, because I mean,
a lot.
you talk about Medicare, Medicaid, any kind of insurance anymore, you just go, I mean, I'm at this level and it's all going up here.
And the most important thing to our organization is that folks can stay at home if at all possible. So we'll work through all of the details with Medicare and always make sure we're following those rules. But the primary focus when we talk with patients and families is how to help them stay at home and get what they need there. Really to see us as the eyes and ears of the doctor. Certainly we can't replace that level of care, but we can report to the patient's doctor what's going on with the patient. And that will oftentimes help the patient avoid multiple trips to the doctor's office, multiple trips to the ER, and really just help that patient focus on what's important to them.
Okay, so if you are staying at home, and Prairie Home Health is coming in and say taking care of me. What kind of staff do you have to do that?
You bet. We have registered nurses and licensed practical nurses. We have registered physical therapists. We have bath aides. We have medical social workers. It's really a team of folks, and not every patient would desire all of those folks, but they're available if they're needed. The kinds of things we would do in home health might be wound care, might be IV infusions. It could be someone with a respiratory illness or a cardiac illness, and they really need a registered nurse checking them over on a regular basis to make sure their medications are working properly. That's a reason to have home health.
So you guys can provide just about everything almost that a hospital can provide, but you're staying at home.
Certainly, there's many things the hospital can do that we can't.
Well, yeah, but
we
still.
are a great extension of that. And
Yeah.
I think the most important thing, in Southwest Kansas that we can do to improve our health care is to work together, different entities such as the hospital, the home health, the hospice, the doctor's office. The more we're communicating and the more we're collaborating on the care of the patient, the better off that patient and family are going to be. So yes, home health is a very important part of what happens when folks leave the hospital.
Okay, all right. You guys do a lot of stuff. All right, so how often or how long, say that you're in home health and, an RN, LPN, whatever it is you're needing, how many times do they visit you per day, or how long do they stay?
Yes.
And that kind of stuff.
Another interesting fact about home health is it is tailored to the needs of the patient. So some folks need us to come in once or twice a day for various things. Other times we come once a week. We even have some patients that really only need us once a month for a very particular procedure that they need done in their home, and that's fine too. So Medicare really gives us a lot of leeway to meet the needs of the patient and not just treat everyone the same.
Okay, all right. We're getting close to time because Brian's in my ear telling me. So let's talk about how does Hospice of the Prairie and Prairie Home Health, how do you guys get funded?
Both programs are primarily funded by Medicare. Around 95% of the patients we serve have Medicare, though the other 5% is comprised of Medicaid, commercial insurance, and also hospice provides care to folks with no insurance. And that is just part of our not-for-profit mission as an organization.
All right, but memorials and donations?
Yes.
Also?
A lot of folks will leave memorials to Hospice of the Prairie and Prairie Home Health, and those funds are set aside specifically to provide care to those hospice patients that have no way of having their health care paid for. We also help hospice patients make sure they have the medicines they need, make sure the electricity's turned on, things like that, because when folks are at that stage of their life, sometimes they need a little extra help.
Well, yeah. You guys do a lot of cool things.
Thank you.
You do. You guys, you hear about or you read about or you see a van driving by that's some kind of home health care and you go, well, okay, they're taking oxygen tanks to somebody or something. Granted, yes, you do that.
Yeah, well, we work with companies that
do that.
Yes.
and you help get that set up.
You bet.
But you guys do so much more that people probably don't realize what all is involved.
Right, and both programs are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to the patients. Our nurses are out making visits at 3 o'clock in the morning if that's what needs done.
Shut up, really?
Truly, they're a great group of gals and guys.
Wow.
Great
and we
staff.
haven't even talked about hospice, but you know what? We're going to get you back and you're going to talk about that.
Would love to. Thank
Julie,
you.
thanks for coming by today.
Thanks.
And you can look up all their stuff on their website too. And we're going to post that on our webpage today. All right, we'll be back with more after this.
You want to feel connected, at one with your world. Informed, included, and inspired. So no matter where you are, when important things happen, we're here at all hours, in the moment, on every screen in your life. Your local TV and radio broadcasters. We investigate and inform, give back to the community, build the local economy, even save lives. America's #1 source for news, weather, and information. And unlike any other news source, we're here, 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 and around here. We are broadcasters, always here for you, wherever here may be. Text TV to 52886. Tell Washington local stations matter.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
Something I feel when I'm right here. Something that tells me that I'm This is the place. Everybody here knows it. This is the place. Oh, it's home to me and you. Yeah, this is the place.
All righty, Kansas freshman Sheik Diallo will declare for the 2016 NBA Draft. League sources told the Vertical. Now, NBA front office executives believe Diallo has a chance to be selected in the first round, but the opportunity to be selected in his preseason projected lottery slot would come from excelling in the NBA Draft Combine and team workouts. Now, Diallo told Coach Bill Self yesterday, and he hasn't hired an agent, so he can do this or he doesn't have to do it, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, let's take a last look at our weather before we vamoose out of here. It is 65 degrees outside. Relative humidity is going up a little bit. It is 59%. Winds, though, still out of the south southeast at 27. Barometric pressure is falling. As we look at our 7-day now, we do have a 20% chance or 10% chance of precipitation. Later on this evening, maybe, that's a maybe. And then we're looking at a lot of sunshine falling off into the 50s on Friday, but climbing back up for the weekend. Go out and make it a good Tuesday, everybody. See you back here tomorrow.
Keep up to date with the latest information from TV23 on our Facebook page, KDGL TV.
Something I feel when I'm right here. Something that tells me that I'm People are people around here. That's how it is. It's so clear. Letting it show. I've been around the world, only to find what I already know. This is the place. Everybody here knows it. This is the place. Oh, it's home to me and you. Yeah. This is the place.
Hi, I'm Chris Jewell, host of High Plains Today, a 30-minute news and information program that airs at noon weekdays right here on TV23. Hey, do you think you have an idea for something that would make a great segment? Somebody that would make a great interview? What about a community event that needs highlighting? Let us know here at the station. Email us news@kdgltv.com.
This is the place.
Lead paint poisoning affects 1 million children today. If you're pregnant or have young children and your home was built before 1978, you could be at risk. Learn how to protect your family. To find your home's danger zones, the health effects, or just to find help, log on to leadfreekids.org.